So it is February 2021. It's been about 2 weeks since the Democrats won the Senate. So it's 50-50 with Kamala Harris at 51. We have some good news coming from the Democratic majority Senate. It sounds like forgiving student debt is getting traction. That idea is getting some traction. This is from The Hill. It reads, quote, "A group of Democratic lawmakers led by Senate Majority Leader Charles Schumer and Senator Elizabeth Warren reintroduced a measure Thursday calling on President Joe Biden to forgive up to $50,000 in federally held student debt per borrower. The resolution from Schumer, Warren, and Democratic Representatives Ayanna Pressley, Ilhan Omar, Alma Adams, and Mondaire Jones is not legally binding, but would serve as a formal congressional endorsement of a popular but polarizing progressive proposal. A similar resolution was introduced in the previous Congress. The resolution calls on Biden to instruct the Education Secretary to use provisions of the Higher Education Act to forgive $50,000 in debt per borrower. It also asked Biden to order the IRS to waive taxes on the canceled student loans, since forgiven debt is typically treated as tax income in the U.S. "We are not going to let up until we accomplish it, until $50,000 of debt is forgiven for every student in the country," Schumer said during a Thursday press conference. "Let's get it done." That's my impression, by the way. So Biden has faced growing pressure from progressive and borrower advocates to unilaterally wipe out a massive portion of the $1.6 trillion in student loan debt held by the federal government, owed by more than 43 million people. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki reiterated Biden's past support for $10,000 of student debt relief per borrower through legislation, but cast doubt on whether he would take executive action to do so if Congress does not send him a bill. So there are a few things to take away from this. First, I think this is a good thing. The House and the Senate Democrats are moving forward towards forgiving student debt. It's becoming the mainstream idea to forgive student debt. Even if it's not all of the debt, it's still like a step in the right direction that they're now officially endorsing it. And this is not just a Joe Biden thing, because this was actually also done under President Trump. And if I'm not mistaken, this has only been happening in the very recent present. We still have some people, who consider themselves Democrats, who think that you should still pay back your student loans. I disagree, but at least the Democratic Party is moving towards a message of forgiving student debt, which I think we should give them their kudos for, at least on the endorsement and the messaging side. The second point I want to make is that even though I thought this was good, we need to be clear that this is not a bill on the Senate floor. This is not a bill on the House floor. It's not a law that they're trying to pass to actually forgive student debt. It's not a law that they're trying to pass to restructure it so that we don't have any student debt in the future. The article says that it is a non-binding resolution. So it's basically the Democrats from Congress. They're just asking Joe Biden to do the right thing and to put the wheels in motion to get student debt forgiveness. Now, it may seem like a minimal thing to do to ask the president to take action instead of making a bill themselves. But, I'm willing to give them the benefit of the doubt since it's only been 2 weeks. It's only been 2 weeks, and maybe this is probably the quickest thing they could get out. I get that. But if Joe Biden does not forgive the $50,000 in debt, I think the Democrats should put a bill on the floor to take it to a vote. They should. Like, if Joe Biden doesn't act on it in, let's say, maybe like half of a year, in 6 months, they should put a bill out to vote. To forgive at least the $50,000 that they said. And, before I'm called like a pessimistic, like, okay, well, you should be grateful for forgiving. You should be grateful that they want to forgive even $50,000. I get it, right? Like $50,000 is a lot of money. It'll help a lot of people, like a lot of students. For some, it'll wipe it all out. But, we should still be demanding that, if our government says student debt forgiveness is good, then it should be good for all of it, not just the 50,000 that they're proposing. Before I go on, I want to throw out there, and I want to say that this resolution, even if they act on it, doesn't address student loans that are held privately. It sounds like they're saying that you're out of luck if you took out federal student loans and refinanced them, or if you just got them privately. And I think we don't talk enough about this. We often overlook that part. So every time we talk about student loans, hopefully we're all keeping in mind that includes public and privately held student loans. So when we do get to the discussion of forgiving all student loans, which we will, as a country, just remember, people have private student loans too. Those should be forgiven as well. I think that the most interesting part of this, honestly, is what they said, about how we can forgive student loan debt, which is that the president could forgive student loan debt if he wanted to. The president could forgive student loan debt if he wanted to. It sounds like really all he has to do is ask his education secretary and the IRS to do it. He could tell them to do it. So if he could do this on a whim, that means that every single time we go to pay our student loans, we have to thank President Joe Biden. We have to thank him for allowing us to remain in student loan debt. This is not a knock on Joe Biden. It's not. I mean, he said that he was willing to forgive up to 10. No, this is a knock on Joe Biden. He said he was willing to forgive up to $10,000, but he also said that he was going to be the next FDR. So he even hung up FDR's picture on the wall because he thinks he's going to be the new FDR. Well, here's your chance, Joe. Here's your chance. Be the new FDR. All you have to do is tell the Secretary of Education and the IRS to forgive our student debt. I don't guarantee you, I'm not a fucking soothsayer, but maybe this could single-handedly win you the next election. You know what? I would be out here every day doing at least a 10-second segment. Thank you for forgiving our student loans, Joe Biden. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people out there would think the same. Forgive all student debt.